If you had 200 hours of free time, what would you do with it? And 200 hours, that's a pretty good amount of time. You could watch all 8 seasons of Game of Thrones 3 times over. And you could learn to speak a new language. You could drive from New York to LA and back twice. So I was reading this study published in the Journal of Social and Personal Relationships that basically said that it takes about 200 hours to build a relationship from nothing. And I would go as far as saying that you could even keep an existing relationship healthy, and you could maybe even fix a broken one. Now, I know most of us don't have 200 hours of free time to go spending solely on building or fixing our relationships, but what if we took the emphasis off of literally spending time on someone and just focused on being intentional about spending time with our significant other? So I found the average relationship seems to break down when couples get a little bit too comfortable with each other, and one or both of them seem to let the relationship run on autopilot. And you know, when your relationship is on autopilot, if you can't remember the last time you went out on a date or you planned an activity with the sole purpose of spending time with the other person. What's so interesting about this study is that it literally discovered that when people intentionally spent time together, they began to build a strong connection with each other. Mind-blowing, right? Probably not. I know it doesn't seem very groundbreaking because, of course, spending more time with someone will most likely bring you closer to that person. I get that. You get that. We all get it. But it's actually not that simple. Have you noticed in your relationships that there's this point that you're both working toward? You both want to be comfortable around the other person and maybe not have to try so hard. You're trying to work towards expressing yourself how you really want to. This is what separates the new couples from the ones who've been together for a while. And it's why you might hear someone say, get a room, to the couple who can't keep their hands off each other in public. But what's the difference between the two couples? The new couple is so immersed in each other, they're spending so much intentional time together that they haven't started to pursue comfort yet. And by proxy, they go around grossing everybody out with their PDA. And the existing couple has already found their stride, their autopilot. So this study discovered what relationships really need to grow and what they need to stay healthy. If we want to maintain healthy relationships, then we shouldn't hope to reach autopilot in our relationships, but instead we should be looking for opportunities to peel ourselves and our partner away from the norm and the everyday monotony of regular life, in hopes that we can share a moment together that is special. According to the study, just being around someone doesn't equate to friendship. And that's just referencing how coworkers who work together every day can't build a meaningful relationship by simply being around each other all day, every day. So how much more important do you think spending quality time with someone you're in a relationship is? And if just sharing the same space doesn't count, then what does? Well, the study's author, Jeffrey Hall, a communications professor at the University of Kansas, had this to say. To make closed system relationships into friendships, you have to move the relationship outside of the institutional system. The institutional system he's referring to is a work environment where you would see someone frequently throughout the week, day after day. But even those relationships, according to the study, would go nowhere unless the relationship got away from the work environment, where most people are operating on autopilot. Now, what I get from that in the context of building a healthy relationship is this. People who are intentionally active and do things together stay together. Healthy couples get really good at switching things up and getting away from the routine. Is it fine to sit and watch a few episodes of Game of Thrones with your bae every now and then? Sure it is. But if you're looking to improve your relationship and maintain it over the long run, I would suggest that you are actively spending intentional time with your partner and getting to know them over and over again during those moments. If you want to literally spend 200 hours to build or rebuild your relationship, then you could plan to literally get away. Because with 200 hours of free time, you could basically go on a week-long vacation. But even if you can't do that, just ask yourself, what can you do? And what would your relationship look like if you started spending intentional time with your partner, looking into their eyes, holding their hand, getting them away from the established normal? I'd like to believe that even the smallest investment in time in your relationship will always have a much greater return.